In the cloud computing architecture, till now we had seen different requirements of cloud computing that lead to the need of cloud computing, like changing requirement and rules of different customer provider. And then we had seen vertical scale up and horizontal scale out, two different ways of elasticity and scaling. Here we'll use horizontal scale out mostly for cloud computing purpose. Then introduction to cloud computing architecture, like there are five basic actors: cloud consumer, cloud provider, cloud broker, cloud auditor, and cloud carrier. Then there are different characteristics of cloud service, like different stacks are there and different purpose and different needs by different actors, like cloud provider do or service orchestration, cloud service management, auditor do security, privacy, and performance audit. Cloud broker do service integration, aggregation, and arbitrage. Then this is how means cloud consumer and cloud provider, auditor, broker, and carrier is being defined. So basically, cloud consumer and cloud provider are in between all these things. So cloud auditor and cloud broker and carrier provide service to consumer and provider to deliver means for various feature analysis, and cloud provider provides actual service or applications to the cloud consumer. We had studied three different scenarios. Like in scenario one, consumer is using broker to access two different cloud provider. Then in scenario two, there are two different type of service level agreement has been done between cloud consumer and provider, cloud provider and cloud carrier. Then the cloud auditor is being combined with cloud consumer and cloud provider. Now we'll see all these things in detail. Like cloud consumer actually uses browser or applications to access the services provided by the provider. Cloud consumer set up contract with the provider. So the cloud consumer is contacted with cloud provider, and the provider is the actual one which provides service to the cloud consumer. Cloud consumer needs SLA to specify the technical and performance requirement fulfilled by the provider. So there are different type of service level agreement that are being done between cloud consumer and cloud provider. Then SLA covers the quality of service, security, remedy for performance failure. So there are different type of service level agreement which all deals with quality of service, securities, and performance issues. Then cloud provider lists some SLA that limit and obligate the cloud consumer by must acceptance. So the SLA is the main in between the cloud consumer and cloud provider, and cloud provider must have to follow its basic needs and all the agreements in written in the service level agreement document. Cloud consumer can freely choose a provider with better pricing with favorable conditions. So cloud consumer has many options of cloud provider, and it can choose any cloud provider. So cloud consumer has favorable conditions, like it use for better pricing, low pricing would be better, better quality provider should be chosen. So there are different criteria that cloud consumer could set. Then pricing policy, then SLA are non-negotiable. So all these two things, pricing and SLA, are non-negotiable. Means when there is an agreement has been done for the service level agreement, then the provider have to follow the level agreement, and it must provide a sufficient quality to the consumer. The cloud consumer is the principal stakeholder for the cloud computing service. A cloud consumer represents a person or organization that maintains a business relationship with and uses the service from a cloud provider. A cloud consumer browses the service catalog from a cloud provider, requests the appropriate service, and set up by service contract with the cloud provider and uses these services. The cloud consumer may be billed for the service provisioned and needs to arrange payment accordingly. The second thing is that cloud consumer needs SLAs to specify the technical performance requirement fulfilled by a cloud provider. What does it mean? It means SLA can cover terms regarding the quality of service, security, and all the other features. And then cloud provider may also list in this SLA in a set of promise explicit not made to the consumer limitation and obligation that consumer must accept. So all these agreement points have the limitation for the cloud provider. So all these agreements should be fulfilled by the cloud provider, and then cloud consumer can freely choose a different type of cloud provider. There are different type of pricing policy, different type of SLAs. Unless the customer accept heavy usage and might be able to negotiate for better contract. So it can go for better contract with another provider by breaking the rule, by breaking the agreement. So it depends on consumer to whom that consumer want to do business. Then next we'll see, depending on service request, the activities and usage scenario can be different among different consumers. So there are different type of usages and different type of activities that cloud consumer may need. Example for cloud services available to the cloud consumer is given in this figure. Like for an example, there are ERP and human resource, social networking, finance. All these are the technical or specific specialized service that SAS consumer may need. And then all these things should be built properly, should should have sales, and there are some other features like document management and CRM that may be required, emailing that we usually use, and all other different type of activities that is required by SAS consumer. Then we can see platform as a service also be needed by the consumer. So the PaaS consumer would need applications like database for creating its own application over PaaS. Then PaaS consumer also need application deployment. What application that PaaS consumer had created, that consumer want to deploy on platform as a service. Then integration of different type of applications it that consumer also needs. And then business intelligence, like there is a data mining technology that is needed by the by the PaaS consumer over the platform as a service. Then deployment, development, and testing. So there could be another features like load testing, regression testing would be provided by the platform as a service provider. And then we'll come to the IaaS consumer, means infrastructure as a service consumer. So there are three type of consumer we are seeing here. So last one is infrastructure as a service consumer. This type of consumer is actually dealing with the physical hardware level, and it may need storage for storing its large amount of data, CDN networking it needed, then backup and recovery system, which is somewhat related to storage, then computation for large size of process, and there might be huge size of processor that consumer needs. It asks the IaaS provider to provide me large number of processors. And then platform hosting means it needs some operating system to be installed on that machine. So IaaS provider will provide IaaS consumer that operating system over it over the provider's machine. Then service management means there are different type of service that are need to be managed. Then we'll see SaaS consumer. One by one, we'll see all these type of three consumer in detail. SaaS applications in the cloud and made accessible via a network to the SaaS consumer. Then the consumer of the SaaS can be organization or a person that provides their members with access to the software application and end users who directly uses software applications or software application administrator who configure applications for end user. SaaS consumer can be built based on the number of end users, time of use, and the network bandwidth consumed. The amount of data is stored and or the duration is stored that data. So there are two features that we are discussing here. There is an organization who wants its member to provide some software applications, like some institute wants to have emailing system by Gmail or Outlook, and so it asks Google or Microsoft for providing that mailing service. Along that mailing service, it also needs document management system. Along with emailing system, it also need storage system, and thus that consumer of that organization means member of that organization will start using mailing service of Google and Outlook of Microsoft. Then the service consumer can be built. So it depends on the amount of usage done by that consumer, and then the billing would be done according to the usage of the number of consumer that organization is aligned with, and the amount of time it keeps that data, and all these things are the reason for payment bill to the service provider, that is Microsoft and Google, for mailing and storing purpose to that organization. Next, we'll see platform as a service consumer. So where it is in the left hand side. So business intelligence, database, application deployment, integration and development testing. Cloud consumer of platform as a service can employ the tool and execution resources provided by the cloud provider to testing, development, deployment, and management of that application hosted by the cloud environment. Cloud consumer actually asks that platform as a service provider that I need some environment for application development, deployment, and testing. So that platform as a service provider will actually provide that service to the PaaS consumer. Then PaaS consumer can be using some application, and platform as a service could be an application developer who actually design and implement application softwares and application like testing, who runs its test and application over the cloud based environment. Then application developer who actually publishes application into the cloud, and applications are actually being administered. Platform as a service consumer also needs monitor of all his applications being developed. So it needs some monitoring features for the plate for that application that he designed, that consumer had designed. Then platform as a service can be actually built based upon the processing, means the number of CPU and CPU cycle time it has used, then data it has stored. Then the network consumer can also be built based upon the network usage and how much network it has consumed. Then the duration of that plate usage of that platform. Thereafter, this billing process could be done based upon all these database, network, and processing. These three things combined would be the reason for billing for the platform as a service consumer. Then we'll see infrastructure as a service consumer. So it is in the rightmost. It uses storage, service management, platform hosting, compute, and backup recovery systems. It may access to virtual computer, network accessible storage, then network infrastructure components, and other fundamental computing resources. So on which they can deploy and run arbitrary softwares. So these are the purpose for what IaaS consumer is being used, is using all these features. So this kind of consumer, what does it uses? Virtual computer. It uses network accessible storage. It uses network infrastructure components. It uses fundamental computing resources like CPUs, because that type of consumer actually deploy and run arbitrary platforms like operating system and different type of softwares. Then this type of consumer could be like system developer, system administrator, IT manager. So these type of consumer could be of different kinds, like developer, administrator, and manager. These type of persons or these type of consumer are interested in creating, installing, and managing and monitoring service for IT infrastructure operations. These consumer actually does management and creation of all these different type of services. Then this type of consumer are provisioned with applicability to access these computing resources. This type of consumer actually uses the capability of infrastructure as a service for computing purpose. How these consumer are being built based upon the usage for the amount of resources like CPU, based upon hour, how many hours that CPU is being used over the virtual computer, then how much amount of volume that consumer, IS consumer is using, the duration of storage, how much amount of storage that consumer has been used, then network bandwidth, how much network bandwidth that infrastructure as a service consumer had been used, then how many IP addresses that consumer is actually using for certain purpose and certain applications for certain duration of time. Next, we'll see cloud provider acquires and manages the computing infrastructure required for providing the service and runs the cloud software that provides the services and manages and arranges the to deliver the cloud service to the cloud consumer through network access. So what it does, cloud provider actually related to service deployment. Cloud provider are actually related to service orchestration. Cloud provider are actually related to cloud service management. Cloud provider are actually related to security. Cloud provider are actually related to privacy. And how it does like it is a kind of organization or a person, we can say. It is like an entity responsible for managing a service available to the interested party. Then this cloud provider actually acquires and manages all these infrastructures and services and runs these softwares and provides some services to the consumer, and also manages all these computing services for cloud consumer over the network. This software as a service means SaaS. The cloud provider deploys, configures, maintains, and updates the operations of the software applications on a cloud infrastructure so that services are provisioned at the expected service level to cloud consumer. So the SaaS, there are three type of provider we'll discuss next. SaaS provider, platform as a service provider, then infrastructure as a service provider. So what that SaaS provider does. SaaS provider actually provides deployable, configurable, and maintainable operations of a software application. Means SaaS provider are like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So it actually provides a complete set of application that can be managed by the user itself for configuration and updation and maintaining everything. So what does SaaS provider does? Means it manages cloud infrastructure in the background, and the consumer won't will not able to know how that SaaS provider is managing that infrastructure in the backend. This is the responsibility of SaaS provider, that it actually manages and controlling all the application and the infrastructure in the backend and administrate all these application in the backend and it never come to know to the consumer. So SaaS provider actually maintains platform and also maintains infrastructure. For example, SaaS provider like Gmail, YouTube, etc. of Google mostly been developed in Java platform. The consumer, actually the end user, never come to know and never actually go into the depth of that Java, which is the backend of development of Gmail and YouTube like features. Then for Facebook, it's like Python and PHP. So Python and PHP never needs to be known to the that consumer. Similarly, Microsoft Outlook and all these mostly feature of Microsoft is being developed in C sharp. So consumer needs no information to know about C sharp, and it is being provided by the provider. And then we'll see platform as a service provider. What it does, it actually manages computing infrastructure and platform component. This type of provider manages computing infrastructure for the platform and runs all these softwares over the cloud that actually provides component of platforms such as runtime execution, stacking such databases. For example, some middleware, this type of PaaS provider provides. Then what does that this PaaS provider typically supports? Development, deployment, and management of some services or applications for the PaaS consumer. And that PaaS consumer actually gets tools and for development and testing like ID, like integrated development environment IDs, and so that the PaaS consumer can deploy different type of applications on the platform as a service. What are the applications of this type of platform as a service provider? Like Docker. So Docker actually deploys different applications, and it has computing and processing environment, programming environment, and then it could be used by the PaaS consumer. So what it does, PaaS provider, it actually provides versioning systems as well. It also provides a software development kit, that is SDKs for deployment and management purposes. Then platform as a service consumer, what it can do, platform as a service consumer can actually control over applications and possibly some of the hosting environment settings. But there's no or limited access to the infrastructure underlying the platform, such as network, server, operating system, or storage. So PaaS provider do not let this PaaS consumer to know about the background network, server, or operating system. So the consumer actually doesn't able to know which type of operating system is there, where that consumer is deploying that application. It, that consumer of PaaS doesn't able to know about much about network, server, or any kind of storage. So these things are being abstracted by the plat- platform as a service provider. Then the third kind of cloud provider is IaaS provider. So this type of cloud provider acquires the physical computing resource underlying the service, including the servers, network, storage, and hosting infrastructure. So this provider actually provides server, network, storage, and hosting infrastructures. Then this provider actually runs cloud software that are necessary for consumer for computing resources. And computing resources are being provided by the cloud IaaS provider. And to whom it is providing? It is providing to IaaS consumer. And through the set of services and interfaces and computing resource abstraction, such as virtual machines and virtual network interface. So virtual machine, virtual network interface, all being abstracted to the from the cloud consumer. And cloud consumer never came to know that it is using how it is using that virtual machine and virtual network interface. So this abstraction is the duty of infrastructure as a service provider. Then infrastructure as a service consumer turns uses these computing resources such as virtual computer. fundamental computing needs compared to SaaS and PaaS consumer. This SaaS and PaaS consumer do not need to go this much level of technical details. But this IaaS consumer needs to go into the detail and have the feature for choosing computing resources like RAM, processor. So IaaS provider and consumer needs to deal with the agreement related to the computing resources as well, and all these virtual machines and virtual network. Then thereafter, IaaS consumer have access to more fundamental forms of computing resources, thus has more control over the software component in the application stack. So this is what I explained, that consumer actually IaaS consumer have more fundamental control over software components and different type of application it is using over IA infrastructure as a service. Like for example, operating system, that this kind of provider need to manage operating system for and network to the for the consumer, and consumer actually uses operating system and network like thing. Then IaaS cloud provider actually controls all these physical hardwares and cloud softwares that makes the provisioning of these infrastructure service. IaaS consumer actually uses all these operating system networks. IaaS provider needs to manage physical level of hardware and physical level of managing software systems for provisioning of different type of infrastructure, means different type of data center management. All these things are being needed to be done by the IaaS cloud provider. For example, physical server, network equipment, storage devices, hosted operating system, and hypervisors for virtualization. All these type of things are being managed and maintained by this type of IaaS cloud provider. There are five different type of activities these cloud providers are doing. What are the five different type of activities? So there are five major activities these type of cloud provider does. What they does service deployment, they do service orchestration, they do cloud service management, security management, they do privacy management. All these things are being done by the cloud provider. Then next is cloud auditor. So the cloud auditor is the party that can perform independent examination of the cloud service control with the intent to express an opinion. So the cloud auditor actually do management of analysis of performance provided by the cloud service provider. And actually this auditor controls the activity of cloud provider as well. Example of these cloud auditors are like nationwide. A nation bans some of the links from outside its country. For example, some countries had already banned TikTok. So how they had banned? They restricted that link of TikTok. So how this auditor actually works? These are actually federal agencies, like nationwide, like company wide. So these are like firewalls, different type of firewalls, which are being managed by nation or by organization. So audit are performed to verify the confirmation to standard through review of the objective evidence. So there are various purpose for what these type of auditings are being done to verify that whether this purpose is correct or not correct. Then a cloud auditor can evaluate the service provided by cloud provider in terms of security that can be accessed of the service control to determine the extent to which the control are implemented. So the cloud auditor can evaluate the service provided by the cloud provider in the terms of security control, privacy, and impact of performance. All these things are being done by the cloud auditor. Then cloud auditor is especially important for the federal agencies. These type of agencies include contractual clauses enabling third party to access security control of cloud provider. So these type of federal agencies actually manages the third party access, means the actual consumer. For example, a citizen of the country can't able to access some of the links of TikTok. So this type of citizens are actually third party, and The federal agencies are the government agencies, and the banned or the blocked websites are the restricted website. Then security control are managed operational and technical safeguard or countermeasures employed within an organizational information system to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the system and its information. So the cloud auditor basically performs task of auditing and to verify the confirmation and standards. Then cloud auditor also evaluates the security control and privacy impact performance and etc. things. Then auditing is especially important for federal agencies, means usually government agencies or the agencies which are in the monitoring purpose for a company and organization. So a cloud provider is a party that can perform an independent examination of cloud service control with some intent to express an opinion. Then audit are performed to verify all these confirmations to standards through some various review process or evidence generation process. And then the a cloud provider can evaluate different type of service provided by the provider, especially for the security control, privacy, and performance. Then security auditing can make an assessment of security control to determine the extent to which the controls are implemented correctly, operating as intended, and producing the desired outcome. This is done by verification of compliance with the regulation and security policy. So the cloud auditor performs according to the some policy, regulations, and some predefined service level agreements. So auditing is especially important for federal agency. What does it mean? It means the agency should include a contractual clause and enabling the third party to access the security control for cloud provider. Then security control means managing operational and technological safeguard measures for some malicious activity to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and different type of availability of systems. And then the security auditing also deals with assessment of security control in the information system to determine the extent to which the control are implemented correctly, then operating as intended or producing the desired outcome with respect to the security requirement for the system. The security audit also includes some verification of compliance with regulation and security policies. For example, auditor can be tasked with ensuring that the correct policies are applied to the data retention according to some rules and regulation or some legal agreement or jurisdiction or anything else. Then the auditor also ensures the fixed content and not to be modified. Means some content should be fixed and not modified. Then the legal and business data archival requirement is also being maintained and satisfied by the auditors. So who are basically cloud auditor? For example, cloud auditor are federal agencies like monitoring the packets or some links coming to a particular nation. Then the firewall of that nation or that links are being blocked by different providers in the country. Thus, the links are blocked. For example, Airtel, BSNL, all these companies are blocking links of TikTok and various Chinese apps. Who are been monitoring this? Who said that to block this? Government agencies. So this is the purpose of this type of federal agencies. And then in an organization, there are several firewalls which maintain security and data protection. Then privacy auditing help in federal agency to comply with applicable privacy law and regulations. So regulation and privacy laws are most important thing which are being maintained by auditors. In some individuals' privacy and to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of individual person or some organization or some institute at different stages and different development points at different operational points. So these are the purpose of cloud auditors. And cloud broker, as we had already discussed some of the features, like integration of the cloud service can be complex for the consumer. So consumer goes to the cloud broker for uh, for integrating the service, and hence the cloud broker is needed. So as the cloud computing evolves, the integration of the cloud service can be too complex. Thus, for the cloud consumer, it is difficult to manage. So that cloud consumer requests the cloud service from a cloud broker instead of directly contacting the cloud provider. A cloud broker is some entity that manages the use, performance, and delivery of cloud services and negotiate relationship between cloud providers and some consumer. So broker actually manages some delivery of services and negotiate different relationship between provider and consumer. Thereafter, in general, some of the broker categories to do something is as follows. So in general, a cloud broker can perform services in three categories. First is service intermediation. What it does enhance a given service by improving some specific capability and providing value added service to cloud consumer. The improvement can be managing access to cloud services, identity management, then performance reporting, enhanced security, etc. So these are the basic services to manage are being done by the cloud broker for service intermediation between cloud provider and the cloud consumer. Then cloud broker also aggregate different services to provide to the consumer. So a cloud broker combines and integrates multiple services into one or more new services. The broker provides data integration and ensures the service data movement between consumer and multiple cloud provider. It actually deals with multiple cloud provider and combine different services and provide it as a one to the cloud consumer. And it also in the aggregation it also aggregates some data and different different data movements securely. Then service arbitrage means service arbitrage is something similar to the service aggregation. The only difference between service aggregation and arbitrage is that service can be selected by the consumer itself. So service arbitrage is similar to the service aggregation except that the services are being aggregated and not fixed. Then service arbitrage means a broker has the flexibility to choose service and then from different agencies means multiple agencies it can the broker chooses different services and provide it to the consumer. Then the cloud broker, for example, some credit scoring service to measure and select an agency with the best score. So it has some scoring feature like the provider who is best at response time or something at the particular feature, best at particular some feature. So the cloud broker chooses service from that provider and provide it to the consumer. Then next, cloud carrier. Cloud carrier, we had seen all such cloud carriers since many years. Like cloud carriers provides access to the consumer through the network, telecommunication, and other devices. So cloud carriers are actually acting as an intermediate that provides connectivity and transport of cloud service between consumer and the provider. Then cloud service provides cloud carriers provide some access to the consumer through network, some telecommunication or other accessing device. For example, a cloud consumer can obtain cloud service through some network access device such as computer, laptop, mobile phones, or some internet devices like some optical fiber like thing or some switching router. So all these things are like network access device which are been connecting different laptops, computer, and mobile together. So this is the purpose of cloud carrier. Then the distribution of cloud services is normally provided by network and telecommunication carriers or transport agents. So network telecommunication agents like Airtel, BSNL, Geo, all these are the transport and telecommunication carriers. So these are a kind of cloud carriers. So the transport agent like Airtel or some other provider refers to a business organization that provides physical transport of storage media from such a high capacity hard disk. So what it does intermediate between the consumer like us and the cloud provider like a storage device in Google drives or Microsoft OneDrive. So it behaves in between the communication of Google Drive and Google Drive user. So the cloud provider will set up some service level agreements with cloud carriers to provide service consistency with different level and different kind of service level agreements offered to different cloud consumers. So there could be variation of different kind of service level agreement between consumer and provider and in between the carrier such that it provides a good quality service and that may require some carrier to provide dedicated or secure connection. So this is an example dedicated and secure connection between cloud provider and consumer. We'll see in the next class scope of control between provider and consumer in more detail and we'll some discuss something about it. Okay, see you. Bye.